juventutem, os molestam selectutem, nos habemus tumus, nos habemus tumus. Obisunt qui ante nos, in mundum fumere, obisunt qui ante nos, in mundum fumere, vatite ad superos, transite ad inferos, quasi vis vide, quasi vis vide. Vita nostra brevis est, brevis inietur, vita nostra brevis est, brevis inietur, venit mors velociter, rapid nos atrociter, nemini pacetur, nemini pacetur. Vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat membrum qualilet, vivat membrum qualilet, sempre sit in flore, sempre sit in flore.
By virtue of the authority conferred on me as Vice-Chancellor, I now constitute this Assembly a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
Please remain standing for the national anthem. Please remain standing. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite Nomangali Sokondo, the President of the Students' Representative Council, to read the university dedication.
At this time of celebration, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in the spirit of freedom and responsibility and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our founders, benefactors, and predecessors, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT. To those of you who will graduate today, we wish courage, wisdom, and purpose. To those who will leave the university to learn and work elsewhere, may you be sustained by those values which unite us here today and advance them in the world beyond, a love of truth and of learning, and of this our university.
Please be seated. Thank you very much for that warm applause. We are very proud of the product of our South African College of Music at UCT, and graduation has helped some of us grow by leaps and bounds. The Vice Chancellor has been whispering in my ear, for instance, what this particular piece was about. I am told that the friendship duet is about two friends who are fighting over a woman who eventually decide that the friendship is worth more than the fight, and they make up and harmony breaks back into their relationship. Vice Chancellor, with your permission, I will announce the people who have been performing for us, starting from the processional anthem Gaudeamus and the national anthem, which were performed by students from our South African College of Music. They were accompanied on organ by Eben Wachenstroom. And this musical item, the friendship duet from the Pearl Fishers by Bizet, was performed for you by tenor Levi Sekgapane and baritone Sandy Leskosana. They are accompanied on piano by Kurt Haupt. Vice Chancellor, with your permission again, having welcomed these good people earlier on before we started, I will now fill my slot with an announcement I should have made at the time. That announcement has to do with the technological strides we are taking in dealing with graduation, getting more and more people to participate in graduation. And I shall read you a little piece about this. The significance of reading this is that you will understand it, even though I don't. For those of you following graduation electronically, please follow the UCT Twitter handle at UCT News, hashtag UCT Grad 12014 for all graduation news and updates. UCT will be giving away a hoodie. It is called here a 20 Years of Freedom hoodie to the best graduation picture posted using the UCT Twitter handle and graduation hashtag. Graduation is also being live streamed from uct.ac.za, and all graduation ceremonies will be available on our UCT YouTube channel. Thank you.
Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the award of the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, William Daniel Carmichael. Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "Yours is not the task of making your way in the world, but the task of remaking the world." May every one of us be granted the courage, the faith, and the vision to give the best that is in us to that remaking. Bill Carmichael has spent the last 45 years remaking his world. In particular, he has dedicated his life to advancing the causes of human rights and social justice. He has outstanding credentials, having studied economics at Yale, Princeton, and Oxford. He was a Rhodes Scholar, hence Oxford, an assistant professor of economics and public affairs at Princeton, and a very young dean of the Graduate School of Business and Public Administration at Cornell. He was all set up for making his way in the world, with an excellent but probably comfortable career in government. But there were a number of events that were conspiring to change his future. The first of these was the Vietnam War and the fallout that he experienced on Cornell campus. But more important was his own growing compulsion to work practically with human rights issues in developing countries. He was then asked to head the Ford Foundation's programs in Brazil and moved to Rio with his young family. At that time, the philosophy of the Ford Foundation was very much along the lines of supporting governments in economic terms, accelerating economic growth by working with planning ministries and sending in foreign expert economists. So one of the important decision points was in April 1969, during the second military coup in Brazil, when Ford Foundation grantees had been fired, jailed, or sent into exile. There were two options: leave Brazil and work in Chile or Mexico until things had settled down, or run the risk of staying in the country, working from within. The foundation chose to stay in the country, and this modus operandi of finding ways to support internal organizations to engineer a successful return to democracy became the hallmark of Bill Carmichael and his team. When Carmichael came to South Africa in the mid-1970s as the head of the Ford Foundation's Office for the Middle East and Africa, he says that he knew nothing about either region. "Good, then you won't bring any biases to the job," said his boss. But the knowledge that he had gained in Latin America, of not just working to the book, but engaging with people on the ground, and of course, those impeccable academic credentials, was what he brought. On his first day in South Africa, Sheena Duncan, president of the Black Sash, took him to a court that was hearing pass laws. He sat for a few hours, absorbing the reality of the South African human rights abuses. Then he got down to work. He refocused the Ford Foundation South Africa program and found multiple creative ways to support change, such as the Legal Resources Centre and the South African Council for Higher Education, working within the confines of the law, but always right at the edge, carefully balancing the activities so that they were just legal. Bill Carmichael has exceptional academic ability and political acumen, but with this comes an amazing ability to be truly compassionate. He uses his intellect and his logical mind to clarify and contextualize, but he is also able to connect with people, to respond to their stories, and most of all, to help them to see the broader meaning and impact of their purpose. It was Franklin D. Roosevelt who spoke about the task of remaking the world. It is Bill Carmichael who has had the courage, the faith, and the vision to give the best that is in him to that remaking. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present, for the award of the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, William Daniel Carmichael.
We now come to the formal part of the program where we give the degrees and diplomas. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I admit to the degrees specified and grant the diplomas specified to the candidates recorded as being in absentia. I shall now grant the diplomas and admit to the degrees specified the candidates to be presented to me by the Deans of Humanities and Law.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the Advanced Certificate in Education, Education Management and Leadership Development, the following names: Muhammad Ridwan Basir, Jacob De Bruin, Hebrew Gordon, Michael Jezile, Boile William Nomganga, Noabo Christopher Peter, Mpikroti Kantor, Fundile Kyalan, for the Performers Diploma in Music, Kwazi Mkula, for the Higher Diploma in Education, Postgraduate, Secondary, Agreement Sizwe Batan, in intermediate phase and senior phase, Renatia Angelique Kricher, Kiyomo Creel, for the Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Senior Phase and Further Education, Tasneem Jakut, Akona Mali, for the Postgraduate Diploma in Education with Distinction, Soraya Abdulatif,
Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the postgraduate diploma in law, in labor law, Celeste Jacqueline Crowther. In tax law, Stephanie Maria de Soda. Asanda Jama. Madeleine Marais. Sibusiso Dlalose. Andiswa Mohapi. Gwedi Sinao Mosala. Nomagugu Mabongi Mvuyana. Yosha Naidu. Naila van der Skef. Grant Hakut Ward. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Nekwaya Hilaria Nalitie Ileka. Christopher Winston Cassianadis. Benson Sibonelo Mkunu. Karabo Mponang. Msizi Experience Sigasa. Samantha Smith. Pamela Letu Sturman.
Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Dale Ann Jade Annandale. Elsa Rose Davi. Xiao Xia Gong, Nuran Henriks, Silomuzi Darlington Hlabangana, Jennifer Anthea Marshall, Lara Antoinette Meter, Kama Kugula, Damien Ashley Terblanche, Miska van Nelson, Katie Vilsgood, in film and media production, Taylor Megan Africa, Keelan Joshua, Kuzai Majarirofa, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Fine Art, Andrew Matthew Thomas. For the degree of Bachelor of Music in Education, Thurlo Carlo Ernson. Thalia Tarin Vollenhoven. In performance, Madri Herber. Urban Mayor. For the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Christopher Lewis April. Yanus Ngululego Aukema. Dylan Raphael Bushalta. Rosie Cumming. Matthew Benjamin Falcon. Shi Tanita Kandidze. Patrick Brian Gilfillan. Edward John Gregory. Megan Lifson. Roxanne Sherizan Maria. Uratile Rimaukhetse Mashazi. Tafadzwa Forsina Mautsa. Sidwell Mzianda Mbusi. Kyla Jade McNulty. Getsei Charmaine Ngubungu. Nomakosazana Mgweba. Farai Christine Midzi. Darshan Dayanand Munasa. Kanyisile Nondumis Ondlela. Willard Petros Nyoni. Vinasha Ramji. Wadeiso Tendiso Rukato. Anika Shrank. Emmanuel Kubunza Alexander Tibatemwa. Adrian Wilson. In Labor Studies, Organizational Psychology and Human Resource Management, Buchilo Priscilla Vundla. For the degree of Bachelor of Social Work, Pumza Jamjam. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in English Studies, Tahir Mullins. With first class, Mary Helen Teed. In Film and Television Studies, James Edward Honorable. In Philosophy, Rebecca Elizabeth Freund. In Television and Drama, Chantel Clark. Lorna Ray Daniel. With first class, Colt David Wentworth Brown. For the degree of Bachelor of Social Science with Honours in African Studies, Samantha Claire Nomusa Ngube. In Development Studies, Dylan Ward. In Gender and Transformation, Anya Diana Editha Kovash. In Public Policy and Administration, Senzo Shop. Lindy Swa, Monica Yan. For the degree of Master of Arts in Drama with distinction, Pedzisai Maedza. In Afrikaans with distinction, Marsha Burnley Luann Barnes. In clinical psychology, Nicola Jane de Kock. Graham Leonard Gauntlet. With distinction, Taryn Haverson. In creative writing, Monica Jacobs. Calvin Scholes. In documentary arts, with distinction in the dissertation, Jonathan Nicholas Riordan. Damien Robert Schumann. In French, Luc Andrew Merrick. Christina Doreen Sefu. In French language and literature, with distinction, Amy Ruth Warren. In historical studies, with distinction, Jolene Young. In language, literature, and modernity, Gareth Scott Langdon. In linguistics, Catherine Mary Gwyneth Lloyd. With distinction, Oscar Sibabalwe Masinyana. In media studies, Harvard Overson. In media theory and practice, Mayor Helene Dubois. With distinction, Lauren Claire Granger. With distinction, Alice Lily Ings. In organizational psychology, Siko Mgweba. In political communication, Mava Albert Lukani. In psychological research, with distinction, Faye Helen Bozelik. Margaret Jean McGrath. In social anthropology, Gifilwe Sillo. For the degree of fine arts, with distinction, Alta Rachel Borta. Christine Cronier. With distinction, Madeline Grunewald. Joanna Cara Luning Voicey. For the degree of Master of Education in Adult Education with distinction, Zelda Joyce Thompson. In Curriculum Studies, Makengo Bonaventure Ndungu. In Educational Administration, Planning and Social Policy, Anna Hilia McMahon. Alison Jane van Merwe. In Education with distinction, Anya Caroline Morris. In Higher Education Studies, Beulah Tetians Rila. For the degree of Master of Music in Music Dissertation and Performance with distinction, Antoinette Elizabeth Blythe. Emily Jane Bruce. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in African Studies, Letiwe Nkosi. In Development Studies, Tebucho Precious Shiapo. Catherine Hulzekoth. In Justice and Transformation, with distinction in the dissertation, Jessica Ruth Boast. Kate Hannah Sidley van Niekerk. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Education, in Adult Education, with distinction in the dissertation, Gillian Mary Ferris. In Applied Language and Literary Studies, with distinction, Jill Ruish van Duchteren. In Curriculum Studies, with distinction in the dissertation, Lucia Rosina Peterson. In Educational Administration, Planning and Social Policy, with distinction, Jennifer Ann Wallace. In Higher Education Studies, with distinction, Ilham Behardine. Nawal Davids. For the degree of Master of Social Science in Gender Studies with distinction, Michelle Robin Porter. In Global Studies, Tetenda Jacqueline Tsvutete. In International Relations, Sean Duthie. Kira Lee Kunet. In Organizational Psychology, Adele Krokamp. Victoria Louise Gross. With distinction, Tara Kiffin Howard. Timothy Calderwood Koch. With distinction in the dissertation, Saidina Alicia Nuju. In psychology, with distinction, Lauren Ruth Barkhuizen. In religious studies, Halim Kenzolglu. With distinction, James Roger Lapperman. In social anthropology, with distinction in the dissertation, Andreas Joachim Buchler. With distinction, Katlejo Kano Shoro. In social development, Jonelle Dupont. With distinction, Christine Mwape. In social planning and administration, Joanne Harding. In social policy and management, Tabiso Wilson Yapisi. In sociology, with distinction, Lindsay Melissa Petro.
Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Master of Laws, Omowamiwa Olukbenga Kolawole. In commercial law, Fumilayo Lonke Alonge. Rion Kluter. Kisti Ann Din. Frank Edgar Kapanda. Mafaro Kasipo. Peter Maganga Kituri. No. With distinction, James Rorima Lish. Milingo Lungu. Kelly Joe Martin. Nswana Faith Matambo. Soalero Molapo. Tazwell Devril Papil. Wendon Henry Christopher Parry. Zandile Matoto Lamalojanye. Chanza Kifas Sikazwe. In constitutional and administrative law, Justice Alfred Mavezenge. Pumelele Octavia Pinky Ngema. Gregory Paul Solik. In environmental law, Isha Heitman. Toliswa Faith Mapoma. In intellectual property law, Jade Catherine Kuletakis. In international trade law, Jacques Bwana Mwamba. In labor law, Rutendo Shailene Mudarikwa. In marine and environmental law, Ernesta Swanepoel. In shipping law, Jacqueline Lisa Kaufman. In tax law, Preshnik Governor. Zulfa Karim. Robert James Sidell. Vimbai Tanyanyiwa. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in Criminal Justice, Luke Lee Skywalker. Nadia Elizabeth Smith. In human rights law, Daniel Jami McLaren. Jerome Albertus Patrick September. In labor law, Imran Nakwera. Jan Haram Fenta. In tax law, Marvin Abraham Bucas. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in commercial law, for a thesis that analyzes conceptions of general average and processes of obtaining acceptance of revisions to the York-Antwerp rules for general average adjustments in order to make recommendations for the next round of revision of the rules initiated in 2012, Chikweshefu Odukiri Ukata. In criminology, for a thesis that analyzes leadership politics in informal settlements and specifically investigates how leaders emerge in these challenging social settings, how they negotiate legitimacy in relation to historical, internal, and external expectations, and how they engage in conflicting practices. Rora Elizabeth Drivdal. for a thesis which explores and compares how state service delivery shapes people's lives and non-state governance in urban Cape Town and Harare, Zimbabwe, and uncovers factors that influence the emergence and activities of non-state initiatives and of state non-state interactions. Tariro Mutongwizo. In private law, for a thesis exploring trusteeship in the context of water law by identifying three principles: sustainability, equity, and efficiency, and suggests areas of improvement to create synergy between theoretical requirements of trusteeship and its practical implementation. Sherry Lee Young. In public law, for a thesis that argues in favor of the inclusion of a renewable energy feed-in tariff in South Africa's legal and policy framework, and examines the elements of such instrument in South Africa with reference to international experience. Louise Dutoy. For a thesis which examines critically and comparatively the legal regime regulating NGO activities in Uganda, and which proposes a state NGO cooperative model as more compliant with international human rights law. Livingstone Sewanyana.
Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in African Languages and Literature for a thesis that applies an African-centered critical analysis of land and identity in black and white Zimbabwean authored English language fictional narratives published between 2000 and 2010, Ruby Mogosongwe. In art history, historical studies, for a thesis that examines South African photographers' responses to the HIV epidemic in this country, with a particular reference to Gideon Mendel, Giselle Wolfson, David Goldblatt, and Santu Mufukeng. Annabelle Selina Vinand. In English language and literature, for a thesis that traces the influence of the Romantic heritage in the work of the South African author J.M. Coetzee, and that shows how this influence contributes to the articulations of the self in his writing, Merriman Eckerd Smuts. In environmental and geographical studies, for a thesis that critically examines what enables the success of large, complex, cross-sector collaborative housing development, and that contributes ideas for improving planning and urban development, Gerald Adland. For a thesis which reviews the developing world's urban food challenge within the context of mutually reinforcing global transitions, and assesses the applicability of emerging urban food governance approaches to cities of the Global South, Gareth Duff Haysom. For a thesis that determines the levels of food insecurity in Windhoek's informal settlements, and that demonstrates how the informal economy fills the food gap by supplying food in informal settlements and thus creates food access for the urban poor, Dayapo Martha Nicanor. In film studies, for a thesis which combines creative praxis with research, it examines the role of primary emotional meaning-making systems in linking the screenwriter to the eventual spectator in the craft of feature film script writing. Philip James Llewellyn Roberts. In linguistics, for a thesis which uses new acoustic methods in the socio-linguistic study of English in South Africa to show ongoing deracialization and social class differentiation among young people in Cape Town's colored community, Tracy Lynn Tuffy. In political studies, for a thesis which analyzes the pre-negotiation process in South Africa between 1984 and 1991, Zwelethu Bulelani Jolobe. In psychology, for a thesis drawing attention to a forgotten symptom of multiple sclerosis, but which formed part of the original description of the disease, and that shows that the symptom, euphoria, occurs in significant number of MS patients and manifests as two distinct subtypes. Amy Louise Duncan. In religious studies, for a thesis that analyzes the work of the Brazilian theologian Yvonne Guevara and suggests that it provides as a bridge between the ecofeminism of the global north and the global south, Elaine Nogueira Godse. In rhetoric studies, for a thesis which examines how former President Nelson Mandela and Thabo Mbeki used rhetorical techniques to define, defend, and at times deviate from the ideal of collective leadership, both of the country and of the ANC. Sifiso Eric Ngesi. For a thesis which examines the rhetorical dynamics of history, the rhetorical dynamics and history of Kwame Nkrumah's major speeches as a Ghanaian and African leader, showing how rhetorical theory informs an understanding of Nkrumah's leadership and how his example enriches rhetorical theory, Eric Opuku Mensah. in social anthropology for a thesis documenting the entanglements that tuberculosis presents to hospitalized pediatric patients, their physicians and nursing staff, and depicting how such children are classified biomedically by child rights activists and by others shaping their life worlds and illness experience. Kate Christine Abney. For a thesis examining the exertion of custody over records of the past in contemporary Umbumbulu. It shows that entering materials into the historical record signals marginalized historical claims, challenges rights to resources, and reshapes socio-political relationships. Grant Stephen McNulty. For a thesis that explores the constitution of everyday life on Zambia's copper belt and the post-privatization period, and that draws on phenomenology and praxis theory to develop a theory of trying that rests on embodied interactions with the environment. Patience Mususa. For a thesis that explores the role of information and communication technologies in the making and maintaining of flexible identities and ideas of marginality and belonging among various categories of migrants living and working in Cape Town's Langa Township, Crystal Powell. In social development, for a thesis demonstrating that social assistance in the form of social grants has a developmental component because it not only contributes to the alleviation of diverse poverty-induced hardships, but also facilitates social inclusion within local community structures. Chance Arisitaliko Chagunda. For a thesis examining the peace-building potential of NGOs in Ethiopia using an indigenous empowerment perspective, drawing from peace research and conflict resolution theory, and demonstrating the importance of working with indigenous institutions and local actors for building a sustainable peace. Wondimu Ketsela Mengistu. In sociology, for a thesis which examines the effects of property ownership on poverty in Cape Town, South Africa, and Lusaka, Zambia. Sengumbe Muyeba.
So let me start by congratulating our wonderful graduates, graduands, new doctors for the huge achievement. We're enormously proud of you, and let's have one more round of applause for all of you. As you go out into the world from the University of Cape Town, many of you are graduating for the first time with a UCT degree, and so you become members of the convocation of the university for the first time. And for those receiving their master's and doctoral degrees, if you haven't had a degree from UCT before, then you now join this wonderful assembly of some 140,000 people around the world that constitute our convocation and that are an important stakeholder in the university's life. The convocation plays a role in the governance of the university. You elect our Chancellor, you elect 6 members of the Council of the University, the governing body of the university. We communicate with you with regular newsletters, and you give us feedback, and you tell us how the university appears out there in the worlds of work that you are traversing. And so I appeal to you to remain in touch with us, so that we are able to communicate with you regularly, that we are able to send you the electronic ballot forms for the elections, and hopefully that some of you will yourselves put yourself forward for office, for standing for office for the university. A modern university, is in many ways as great as its alumni. Certainly its reputation is carried by the reputation of the alumni. You are our ambassadors out there, and you are also our supporters, and we rely on you for that support in the future. I'm sure you will want to share your joy by expressing your gratitude to the people on this side of the hall who have loved you and supported you emotionally, financially, psychologically, sometimes parents, sometimes spouses or loved ones, some of you children and friends. And I invite you, the graduates, to stand up and make eye contact with your loved ones in the audience, your friends. Hold your scrolls up and wave them, and shout your appreciation to them. And as good as you are, you probably would not have got to this point in your lives without the support of the lecturers and professors on the stage, and I invite you to show your appreciation to them too. And I do too, on behalf of the university. A university is as good as its brains trust, and this is the representation of the brains trust you see before you, and we're enormously proud of them as teachers, as researchers, as role models in the world, as examples to the next generation of academics that we see before us. And as you go out, finally, you will be judged, and we will be judged through your actions, but not so much through the technical expertise and knowledge that you've acquired at UCT, because that will change within a few years. What you've learned will probably be out of date and replaced by new knowledge. The skill that we hope you've mastered is to be lifelong learners. But you'll be judged by the kinds of people you are and how you live your lives. And what we hope you take away from UCT is the ethos, the values of UCT, a commitment to social justice, a commitment to making this a more equal world, a commitment to using your skills and talents, because you are, in fact, an extremely privileged group to be graduating from a university like UCT, to use those talents and skills to make the world a better place. And if you do that, we will continue to be proud of you all your lives. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. We have come to the end of this part of the afternoon. And with your permission, Vice Chancellor, and this time I mean it, I have something to share with your audience. This is my last graduation at UCT. And it gives me a great deal of pleasure to live at a time like this, when UCT is not just in the ascendant, but is in fact at a point in its history where, in my humble opinion, everything is coming together. The reason I am a great fan of graduation, and I've always been, is the fact that at UCT, I think we're beginning to get it right. In the mix of graduates every year, where in this room and in this space, there is always now routinely a totally exciting mixture of those who are the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh generation of graduates in their families, and those who are the first, not only in their families, but perhaps in the village or in the church to get a university degree. It all happens in this space. I think we're getting it right that the graduate that we do produce is someone who has values over and above the qualifications and the degree. The people who will go out there and change the world, who have imbibed moral values, worldviews that include, very importantly, the idea of social justice, the idea of service leadership, the people who have an open mind, because if education doesn't make you an open-minded person, then it's been a waste of time, energy, and money. The people who we say to, and we know they will when they go out, adopt the view that when your argument is challenged, don't raise your voice, raise the quality of your argument. The people who we sleep easier in our beds because we know UCT graduates are on the job. This fills us with a great deal of joy, including the fact that we are truly now becoming the kind of great gateway where in every year the cohort of PhD graduates importantly includes not only South Africans, but students from the rest of the continent, something that means a lot to us. So those are some of the memories I'll be taking with me, but thank goodness I won't be taking away with me only serious memories like that. Graduation is always also quite dramatic. And I will tell you that 2 years ago, at this graduation of the law faculty, mother sitting behind that pillar at the back, her daughter was just kneeling to be kept by the Vice Chancellor, and her voice rang out. They were from Limpopo. Her voice rang out, and she said, "Don't talk to me, talk to my lawyer." I do believe that that memory will now be joined by the young man this afternoon who proffered his cell phone to the Vice Chancellor and asked for a selfie. As I say, we've come to the end, and the announcements we need to make include the fact that the Vice Chancellor is about to dissolve the congregation. You are asked to remain sitting until the platform party has left. Graduates are invited to join immediately after the platform party. You are also warmly invited to refreshments at the Leslie Social Science Building, which is to the right as you go down the steps onto the plaza. We do urge you to go all the way down as you get out of the room, down the steps, and disperse yourselves along the plaza so that other people can also leave the hall. And finally, it is my great pleasure to invite you to stand because the Vice Chancellor is about to dissolve the congregation. Thank you.
And let me also slightly abuse the procedure by saying, since Prof. Nhlapha will only be leaving us towards the end of the year, but before the final graduation ceremonies in December, that we will certainly miss your combination of gravity and wit and wisdom and just panache in managing these ceremonies. And we thank you for what you've brought to them. Now, by the authority vested in me as Vice-Chancellor, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town.